In the tumultuous seas of life, one often encounters the harsh waves of disrespect. Whether it comes in the form of rude remarks, dismissive behavior, or outright hostility, disrespect can be a challenging storm to weather. However, drawing from the ancient wisdom of Stoicism, we can equip ourselves with 10 invaluable lessons to navigate these turbulent waters with grace and resilience. Rooted in principles of self-mastery and inner peace, these Stoic lessons offer a powerful arsenal for confronting disrespect with dignity and composure. Lesson 1. Stay calm. In the tumultuous seas of life, when the winds of disrespect blow, it's easy to feel like a ship tossed about in a storm. Yet, the first lesson Stoicism teaches us is to anchor ourselves in the calm harbor of our own inner serenity. Imagine a stormy sea. Waves crash against the shore, thunder rumbles overhead, and the wind howls like a furious beast. In the midst of this chaos stands a lighthouse, tall and unwavering. Its light pierces through the darkness, guiding ships safely to shore. Likewise, when faced with disrespect, we can choose to be like that lighthouse. Instead of allowing ourselves to be swept away by the tempest of emotions, anger, hurt, or indignation, we can stand firm in our own inner calmness. Picture yourself in a situation where someone speaks to you disrespectfully. Perhaps they raise their voice, criticize you unfairly, or dismiss your opinions without consideration. In that moment, you have a choice: to react impulsively, letting the storm of emotions wash over you, or to remain steady and composed, like the lighthouse amidst the raging sea. Stoicism teaches us that true strength lies not in the outward display of anger or aggression, but in the quiet resilience of the soul. By staying calm in the face of disrespect, we retain control over our emotions and actions. We become the masters of our own fate, rather than being at the mercy of external circumstances. But staying calm doesn't mean suppressing our emotions or pretending that we're unaffected. It's about acknowledging our feelings without allowing them to dictate our behavior. It's about taking a step back, taking a deep breath, and responding from a place of clarity and composure. Imagine the power of remaining calm in the midst of chaos. Like a skilled martial artist, you deflect the blows of disrespect with grace and finesse. Your calm demeanor disarms your opponent, leaving them perplexed and powerless. In that moment, you realize that true strength comes not from outward aggression, but from inner peace. So, the next time you find yourself facing disrespect, remember the lesson of the lighthouse. Stay calm amidst the storm and let the light of your inner tranquility guide you safely through the darkness. In doing so, you'll not only preserve your own peace of mind, but also inspire others to follow. Lesson 2. Self-reflection. Self-reflection is like gazing into the still waters of that pond. It's a moment of quiet introspection, a chance to look inward and examine the landscape of our own thoughts and emotions. Think about a time when you felt disrespected by someone. Perhaps it was a snide remark from a coworker, a rude gesture from a stranger, or a hurtful comment from a friend. In that moment, our instinctive reaction might be to lash out in anger or retreat into wounded pride. But Stoicism teaches us that there is another path, a path of self-reflection. Self-reflection is the practice of turning our attention inward and examining our own reactions and responses to the world around us. It's about asking ourselves why we feel the way we do and whether those feelings are serving us well. By taking the time to pause and reflect, we gain valuable insights into our own inner workings and discover the underlying causes of our emotional reactions. But self-reflection is more than just a passive observation of our thoughts and feelings. It's an active process of self-discovery and growth. Through self-reflection, we come to understand ourselves better, the things that trigger us, the patterns of behavior that hold us back, and the values that guide our actions. Moreover, self-reflection opens the door to personal growth and development. When we take the time to examine our thoughts and behaviors, honestly, we create the opportunity to make positive changes in our lives. We can identify areas where we want to improve and set goals for ourselves to become the best versions of ourselves. In the context of handling disrespect, self-reflection is particularly valuable. When we feel disrespected, it's easy to point the finger outward and blame others for our hurt feelings. But through self-reflection, we come to realize that our emotional reactions are ultimately within our control. We can choose how we respond to disrespect. And self-reflection helps us cultivate the inner strength and resilience to respond with dignity and grace. So, the next time you find yourself feeling disrespected, take a moment to pause and reflect. Gaze into the still waters of your own mind and discover the wisdom that lies within. In doing so, you'll not only gain a deeper understanding of yourself, but also unlock the door to greater peace, fulfillment, and resilience. Lesson 3. Learn to pause through a vivid scenario. Imagine you're in a bustling city, surrounded by the hustle and bustle of daily life. The streets are crowded with people rushing to and fro, each lost in their own thoughts and concerns. Amidst the chaos, you find yourself caught in a moment of conflict. You're walking down the sidewalk when suddenly someone bumps into you, spilling coffee all over your shirt. Instantly, anger surges within you like a raging inferno. You feel the urge to lash out, to confront the person who caused this inconvenience, but then a voice whispers in the back of your mind, a voice urging you to pause. You take a deep breath, feeling the cool air fill your lungs. In that moment of pause, time seems to slow down. You become acutely aware of your surroundings, the honking of car horns, the chatter of passers-by, the gentle rustle of leaves in the breeze. And in that stillness, you find clarity. You realize that reacting impulsively won't solve anything. It will only escalate the situation and add fuel to the fire of conflict. Instead, you choose to respond with patience and composure. You turn to the person who bumped into you and offer a reassuring smile. "It's okay," you say, your voice calm and steady. "Accidents happen." The tension in the air dissipates like a cloud dispersing in the sky. The other person looks at you, surprised by your unexpected kindness. And in that moment, a connection is forged, a connection built on empathy and understanding. Pausing isn't just about taking a moment to catch your breath. It's about harnessing the power of introspection and self-awareness. It's about recognizing that you have a choice in how you respond to life's challenges, and by pausing, you give yourself the opportunity to choose wisely, to respond with grace and compassion, rather than reacting impulsively out of anger or frustration. Lesson 4. Practice empathy, exploring its profound impact on our interactions with others. Imagine a scenario where you find yourself on the receiving end of disrespect. Perhaps it's a colleague who undermines your ideas in a meeting, a friend who makes a thoughtless remark, or a stranger who treats you rudely in public. In that moment, it's natural to feel hurt, angry, or indignant. But what if there was another way to respond? Enter empathy, the ability to step into someone else's shoes and see the world through their eyes. It's a powerful tool that Stoicism reminds us to wield in the face of disrespect. Instead of reacting with resentment or animosity, we're encouraged to pause and consider the motivations and perspectives of those who may disrespect us. But why bother practicing empathy when we feel wronged or slighted? Isn't it easier to just lash out or withdraw in self-defense? These are valid questions, but Stoicism teaches us that empathy is not just about being kind to others. It's also about preserving our own peace of mind. Think about it. When we allow ourselves to be consumed by anger or indignation in response to disrespect, who suffers the most? It's not the person who disrespected us, it's us. Our own peace of mind is disrupted, and we're left feeling agitated and unsettled. But what if we could break free from this cycle of negativity and conflict? What if, instead of reacting impulsively, we chose to respond with empathy and understanding? By empathizing with the struggles and insecurities of those who disrespect us, we open the door to compassion and tolerance. Think about a time when you felt hurt or misunderstood. How did it feel to have your feelings dismissed or invalidated? Now imagine extending that same empathy to others, to the person who has disrespected you. What struggles might they be facing? What insecurities might be driving their behavior? By cultivating empathy towards others, we transcend the cycle of negativity and conflict. Instead of fueling the flames of resentment, we sow the seeds of compassion and understanding. We create a space for dialogue and reconciliation where differences can be bridged and relationships strengthened. Lesson 5. Stoics focus on virtue and explore how prioritizing the cultivation of virtuous qualities can transform our responses to disrespect. Picture this. You're in a crowded room, engaged in a heated discussion with a colleague. Suddenly, they make a disrespectful comment, belittling your ideas and questioning your competence. In that moment, you feel a surge of anger and indignation rising within you. But instead of reacting impulsively, you pause and remember the teachings of Stoicism. At the heart of Stoic philosophy lies the pursuit of virtue, the noble quest to embody qualities such as integrity, patience, and magnanimity. But what does it mean to prioritize virtue in the face of disrespect? Imagine integrity as a sturdy foundation upon which your character is built. It's about staying true to your principles and values, even in the face of adversity. When confronted with disrespect, instead of stooping to the level of your detractors, you choose to uphold your integrity, responding with honesty and integrity. Patience, on the other hand, is like a calm river flowing steadily through turbulent waters. It's about maintaining composure and equanimity, even in the face of provocation. When faced with disrespect, rather than reacting impulsively, you choose to exercise patience, allowing cooler heads to prevail and diffusing tension with grace and dignity. And then there's magnanimity, the virtue of generosity and kindness towards others. It's about rising above petty grievances and extending compassion even to those who may not deserve it. When confronted with disrespect rather than harboring feelings of resentment or vindictiveness, you choose to respond with magnanimity, offering understanding and forgiveness. By aligning your actions with the principles of virtue, you elevate yourself above the petty provocations of disrespect. You refuse to be dragged down into the mire of negativity and conflict, choosing instead to embody noble ideals and set an example of grace and dignity for others to follow. Lesson 6. Learn acceptance and delve into the wisdom it offers in dealing with disrespect. Imagine sailing on the vast ocean of life, encountering storms of various magnitudes along the way. Sometimes these storms manifest as disrespect from others, sharp gusts of words or actions that threaten to overturn your sense of worth and dignity. In such moments, you stand at a crossroads. Do you resist the storm, fighting against its powerful currents, or do you choose a different course, guided by the wisdom of acceptance? Acceptance, as taught by Stoic philosophy, is not merely resignation or passivity. It is the recognition that some things are beyond our control, and that true strength lies in our response to them. When faced with disrespect, acceptance offers a profound insight that we cannot control the actions or attitudes of others, but we can control our own reactions. Acceptance is like a lighthouse in the midst of a storm, providing a steady beacon of light and guidance. It illuminates the path forward, showing us that peace and serenity can be found not in resistance, but in surrendering to the natural rhythms of life. By accepting disrespect as a part of the human experience, we free ourselves from the burden of resentment and anger, and find solace in the wisdom of letting go. But why is acceptance essential in dealing with disrespect? Because it empowers us to rise above the turbulence of negative emotions and respond with clarity and composure. When we accept disrespect as an inevitable part of life, we release ourselves from the grip of hurt and indignation and find strength in the serenity of surrender. In the words of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Acceptance teaches us that we cannot always control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond. And in choosing acceptance, we reclaim our power to navigate life's storms with wisdom and grace. Lesson 7. Use humor and uncover how injecting humor into situations of disrespect can be both empowering and liberating. What's your typical response to disrespect? Do you find yourself simmering with anger or withdrawing into hurt? Or perhaps you're among those who opt for humor, turning a potentially volatile situation into a light-hearted exchange. But why humor? In the face of disrespect, humor serves as a powerful tool, capable of diffusing tension and disarming hostility. Picture this: someone directs a disrespectful remark your way. Instead of meeting fire with fire, you counter with a well-placed joke or a clever quip. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifts, and what could have been a confrontational moment transforms into a shared moment of levity. Humor has the power to reframe our perspective, turning perceived slights into opportunities for laughter and levity. Instead of taking ourselves too seriously, we can choose to adopt a light-hearted approach, finding amusement in the absurdity of the situation. However, let's not overlook the seriousness of the situation. Disrespect can sting, leaving wounds that run deeper than surface-level banter. It can erode trust, strain relationships, and sow seeds of resentment if left unchecked. Humor then serves not only as a means of diffusing immediate conflict, but also as a tool for fostering understanding and connection. Humor has this remarkable ability to take the sting out of disrespect and make it seem almost trivial. It's a way of saying, hey, let's not take ourselves too seriously here, and inviting others to join in a moment of shared humanity. So, while humor can be a valuable strategy for navigating disrespect, let's not forget the importance of addressing the underlying issues with sincerity and respect. By combining humor with genuine dialogue and understanding, we can transform moments of conflict into opportunities for growth and connection. Lesson 8. Setting boundaries. What are your thoughts on handling disrespect? Do you find yourself trying to maintain inner peace while silently enduring mistreatment? Or do you believe, like Stoicism teaches, that setting clear boundaries is essential in maintaining self-respect? Stoicism emphasizes the importance of inner equanimity, but it also recognizes the necessity of setting boundaries when faced with disrespect. Think about it. How can we expect others to treat us with respect if we don't communicate our standards of acceptable behavior? Setting boundaries isn't about being hostile or confrontational. It's about asserting ourselves in a way that promotes mutual respect and dignity. When we clearly communicate our boundaries, we create a framework for healthy interactions where both parties understand and honor each other's needs. Imagine this. You're in a social gathering, and someone makes a disrespectful comment towards you. Instead of brushing it off or allowing it to escalate, you calmly assert your boundaries. You say something like, "I don't appreciate comments like that. Let's keep the conversation respectful, okay?" By setting boundaries with clarity and conviction, you're not only safeguarding your emotional well-being, but also fostering an environment of mutual regard and understanding. Boundaries serve as a roadmap for healthy relationships, guiding both parties towards interactions that are grounded in respect and empathy. Lesson 9. Forgiveness. Have you ever experienced disrespect that left you feeling hurt and resentful? It's natural to hold on to those feelings, to let them fester and consume us. But what if there was a better way to free ourselves from the burden of bitterness and resentment? Stoicism teaches us about the liberating power of forgiveness. Instead of carrying the weight of past wrongs, we can choose to release ourselves from the shackles of resentment and embrace the healing balm of compassion. Think about it. Holding on to grudges is like carrying around a heavy backpack full of rocks. With each step, the weight grows heavier, dragging us down and hindering our progress. But when we forgive, it's like setting down that burden and feeling the lightness of being. Forgiveness isn't about excusing the behavior of others or pretending that the hurt never happened. It's about choosing to let go of the pain and reclaiming our peace of mind. By extending forgiveness towards those who have wronged us, we break free from the cycle of retribution and open ourselves to the possibility of healing and reconciliation. Imagine this: someone disrespects you, causing you pain and anger. Instead of holding on to that hurt and seeking revenge, you choose to forgive them. You release the grip of resentment and embrace the freedom that comes with letting go. But why is forgiveness so powerful? Because it's an act of self-love and self-preservation. When we forgive, we free ourselves from the toxic grip of bitterness and resentment and open our hearts to the transformative power of compassion. Lesson 10. Changing perspectives. What's your take on changing perspectives? When someone disrespects you, is it hard to see it as anything other than a personal attack? Stoicism challenges us to rethink our approach. At its core, Stoicism calls for a profound shift in perspective. Instead of seeing disrespect as a blow to our pride, we can view it as a chance for personal growth and resilience. Imagine this: you encounter disrespect, a sharp word or dismissive glance. Instead of letting it wound you, you pause and reconsider. What if this disrespect is not about you, but rather an opportunity for inner strength? What if it's a chance to test your resilience and character?